Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the viewers to my channel. I'm Mahadi Silepe. I'm a Lesotho YouTuber living in Perth.
Yes.
Did you ever meet them again? What happened? What has happened since?
On my side, no, I haven't met anyone until today. That is 23 years now, 24. But my mom eventually survived the attack when they came to repatriate people with bombs and whatever. There was something that made me really very angry and pissed off. We were in the camp in Malawi praying when we heard that this attack I fled from now is starting, surrounding the camp and shooting. United Nations was organizing soldiers who can go and evacuate refugees towards the center of the country in Congo, because Rwanda was complaining they are very close to the border. They can attack anytime. So take them far. And when the UN decided, US refused to send soldiers. They say we're gonna provide logistics. Other countries organize soldiers who will go to Congo under the auspice of UN to protect refugees, because they knew the war had started. Now, when the day they were supposed to go, United States, that was under Clinton, said, refugees, we're not going to this operation anymore. Refugees are going home on their own. Decided to go home on their own. And that's when the killings now started. Without anyone observing, without the UN, without anything. Yes, there were some NGOs that were working in the camps, but they had to pack and go home and leave the
Because it was not safe.
The camp was surrounded by bombs. They were shelling bombs into the camps. So my mom, what she told me, she used the mattress we were having. I had bought a big mattress, a very comfortable one. So with my sisters, two of them, they used that as a shield and pulled it along the way 13 kilometers.
That's how they
So
left that place.
the bullets reached the mattress, but never went through to them. And no bullet touched the hands that were holding the mattress. Yeah, so they ended up in Rwanda because that was the only option. There was no young men with them because young men were separated and taken to other places where they'd be tortured. But with her and two kids, they just say go to the transit camp and go back home to where you come from. Yeah.
And how did you get word about that? How did you hear about it?
They sent me letters later, and I called them. I phoned.
Okay, because where you are, you had other Rwandans with you, so
she explained to me. They told me how they managed, but even though in Rwanda you don't tell what happened now because they can listen to hear you. So yeah, I kept asking small pieces, but until now there are things I never ask because they can't tell for fear of being heard or overheard. Yeah, one of my niece who was with them when they arrived in Rwanda, she attempted to go to our home village to check if the homes are free, because my mom has been chased by soldiers anyway earlier, because she didn't flee with everybody. She was my father was sick in hospital during the killings, so he got healed later after the rebels had taken over the power. But later on they said, you must leave this place, otherwise some of us soldiers are angry, they're gonna kill you. They kill people every day, so they know you're home now, you better leave. So that's how she left Congo, and now she was coming back. She got scared. So how are we gonna go there?
Yeah,
we need to send someone to check. So when this cousin went there, this young girl, she got shot. Yeah.
Okay, I'll proceed. Anyway, So of Nelson's family, close immediate family, his mom and the 2 sisters that he had left behind in Congo are the ones that are currently in Rwanda. Then his other sister that didn't leave Rwanda, that moved to another city, and her family are also there. His elder sister that opened a shop in the refugee camp did not make it with her family. Only one of their children made it. Later on, was reunited with the family, but she passed. And then their dad as well, because when they were living in Rwanda, he was in hospital, and then they got chased out of hospital. We were told that they need to move, so that's my father-in-law and mother-in-law. They got separated because they were told not to move at the same time, because if they do, they may get caught. So in going separate ways, they never found each other again. And I think probably we were praying, hoping that he's somewhere until probably about
4 years later.
Probably 6-8 years ago, maybe in 2008-9 is when they
told us he got killed in 98. So we have kept praying for someone who's
we didn't know. Yeah, because they didn't know either, but later on they found out. So they were told by other people that this is what happened.
They had been killed by the Rwandan soldiers. Yeah.
So of my family, so my dad had already passed before 94. Anyway, he had passed in 90, was killed prior to the genocide. So we kind of used to just be with my mom for a while. So it was for my mom and my brothers all are here in Perth. And 2 of them are now married. So I've got 3 nephews and 1 niece from my 2 brothers. And
how did you get reconnected or reunited?
With us, we were always in connection because they were in Zim, and then we were in South Africa, and then later on we got mobile. We exchanged our mobiles, so we've always been in touch. My mom was always there when I had kids. She came to South Africa when I had Ben, so she had already visited. My other brother had also visited, and later on my younger brother visited from Australia to South Africa as well. So we were always in touch with them.
Okay, how did mom come here?
She came from Zim. In the refugee camp. They had what do they call them? Those things?
It's a humanitarian
visa. So she came through a humanitarian visa.
Vulnerable
people. So as a widow with kids, and she used to get very sick things. She almost died a couple of times. So she was seen as vulnerable with kids. So they got a humanitarian visa to come here in 2007. In 2007.
And you guys followed when?
So I actually came in 2010 for my brother's wedding, because my brother was getting married, and he was like, "Hey, Yvette, at least, if I can't have all of you, my sister, because I'm the only sister sibling in our family, so it's like, I need to have my elder sister, you're like a second mother." And I'm like, but I have a refugee. We had refugee documents in South Africa. We struggle to get proper documents, although the laws says that, as a refugee after 5 years you can get PR, but it was different for Rwandan refugees because of political reasons. So for us to even get to a point to getting any kind of documents, and for the first Rwandans to get PR after we had left, closer to when we left, it was because we actually had to get a lawyer as a community that we paid. So even the everyday refugee documents, for us to keep getting them, it was through the lawyer. We always had to be fighting to get, your everyday refugee documents, which doesn't allow you to do a lot of things. It's hard. You can't get a proper job with it. Nobody will take you on a job with a refugee document, because it says, what does it say?
Before we had what you call the prohibited.
Yeah, the first one we had, it was prohibited.
Prohibited person.
So it actually said prohibited
document
person.
For prohibited person.
Yeah. So and then eventually we got refugee.
Now they put
the status, when they say the refugee status.
Status.
It sounds like I could learn a lot from Malawi.
So that was in South Africa, and then so I came, so there's what you call a travel document, which is issued by United States, which you can
United Nations.
United Nations rather for
refugees.
refugees, which is given to people with refugees without passport. So it's a blue travel document, and you can travel on it. But if you are traveling from
is it return?
Yes.
The one who is a return document,
Yes.
you can go and come back.
Yes, but if you are traveling from a third world country to a first world country, the likelihood of you getting a visa is next to none. So, but I was like, my brother really wanted me to come. Like, okay, you know what? Let's give it a try. Like, it doesn't kill us to give it a try. And so I applied, and we were like, hey, we're not gonna, because even people that were working that had now stable job in South Africa, tried to get a visa to go for work purposes in America and Canada. They refused them. So we were thinking, we're not gonna get it. But anyway, we tried, and we said, you know what, Lord, if you want us to get it, if you want me to get it, I will. And it happened so quickly, like in 5 days.
Wow.
I had the visa back. But it strictly said that I could not reapply for it within Australia, so I had to go back to South Africa to reapply. So it was a month visa. So I came thinking, you know what, I'm just coming for the wedding and I'm gonna go back. And when I'm here, you know, a lot of other refugees are saying, you can't come here and then just go back. You have to try. Surely there's a way. And then, you know, me, I'm like, Mom, you can see what the letter says.
Yeah.
This letter strictly says there's nothing I can do. But now, because a lot of people were saying, we were like, okay, let's try. So we went to a migration person, and the migrant agent said, he said, there's actually one visa you can apply for. There's a 50% chance. There's one visa you can apply for. I'm like, seriously? With this? He's like, yep, there is. So then I tried, applied for that visa, like probably.
What is the visa called?
I actually don't know. I can't remember.
But they gave her the bridging visa while they were waiting for
So whilst they were studying the case, they gave me a bridging visa. So you can't go back with a bridging visa.
Yeah.
And as I'm waiting, so I was meant to, and it happened so quickly. Like in 6 months, I had my permanent residence. People don't believe it. I was here in December. In July, I was holding my PR in my hand. So, you know, again, if you don't believe in God, you know, you gotta believe in God. In 6 months, I was holding my PR, and I had a job. I was working for 6 months, and I'm still working through the same company, but you know, different roles that God blessed me with. But I'm still working. But it took me 6 months. But anyway, now the miracle of me getting my PR was I was meant. So when you have to do like an interview. And it's a very long interview where they ask you from the beginning of your journey to the whole journey. It was not a nice thing. You know, it opened a lot of things that I thought I was over. And eventually, so they had already told me, I had a caseworker, and she told me, you're going to go through this whatever. But now I had to prove why I cannot go back to Rwanda and why I cannot go back to South Africa. So that's what I had been told. Okay. Now, why I cannot go back to South Africa, I had nothing personal, you know. The xenophobia, it happens to all the refugees. Like, it has to be something personal. To Rwanda, I have so many personal stuff that I could have used. So that wasn't an issue. Yeah. And I'm like thinking, how are we going to get over this one? Now my date comes, and she calls me to, my caseworker again, to book. To say, oh yeah, we've booked you an appointment, this is the date we're gonna meet. And she says to me, but now my documents in South Africa have been expired. So they're like, because now we've kept you here too long now, and your documents have expired in South Africa, we can't send you back in South Africa. So
this is the reason.
So I didn't have to prove why I needed to go back to South Africa, because that wasn't valid anymore. Yeah. So basically, if I could prove why I couldn't go back to Rwanda, they would have taken me to Rwanda. They would have deported me to Rwanda, because that's my place of birth. Because I didn't have any documents to go back to South Africa.
Oh, that must have been a scary thought.
I was like, Nelson and I were like, there's too many things about Rwanda. Like, I have so many things. So the time came, the meeting that I was going to, the interview went for almost 4 hours. But she was very nice. She was very nice, very supportive. Say, Yvette, if you need to take a break, you bring a support person. you know, because they know that you may.
It's an emotional,
difficult conversation to have. So I had my mom with me, and you know, water. She's like, "Oh, do you want to take a break?" So funny enough,
so mom
she
already
was
had her PR.
Yeah, she had her citizenship.
Oh, okay.
By then,
okay.
They were already citizens by the time I came. So mom came with me, but actually my caseworker was the one that was crying more than I was. She was like, she couldn't contain what I was saying. She was like, you know, I mean, you're only 30 something.
Honestly.
Like, honestly, that's just too much. And she was the one in tears. So, and then very quickly I got the reply. She actually called me. She was so sad. She called me, like, there was a public holiday and she had posted it thinking I was going to get it before the public holiday because she really wanted me to celebrate during that long weekend. And then when she called me, she was hoping that I'm going to say, oh, I got it. And she didn't hear anything, so she left it. And then I got it on the Monday. That's when it came into my post. And then when I spoke to her, she was like, oh, you know, I really wanted you to get it over before the weekend so that you can have some celebration over the weekend. So, you know, it was so exciting. And even my colleague at my new job where I worked, where I still work, but our company has been merged with another one, so swallowed by a bigger company in a way. Yeah. So my company that I work to, they even, like, you know, when they heard I got PR, like, I even had one of my friend, Ashley, she actually gave me $200. She was like, Yvette, this one, I want you to put it towards you applying for your PR. Yeah.
Because all these things are money.
And then, and I didn't ask her for it. She just gave it to me. She was just my workmate. Wow. She was studying full-time, working so many different jobs, you know, renting her own place and stuff like that. But she was like, Yvette, you put this money towards your, you know, your PR. I'm like, okay, thanks, Ash. And I had a lot of support from my workmate. You know, they're like my second family, and some of them are still very close to me. You know, like there's Louise. If she ever get to see this one, she's like a sister from another mother. They even like got me a cake and sang a song in the happy birthday tune, but saying, you know, you got your PR. So, you know, like I had all these supports from all these beautiful people. Yeah.
And where's Nelson?
Nelson is in South Africa looking after our children all by himself.
I've been a single parent.
He's been a single parent for almost 3 years.
Such a supportive single parent.
Yes.
So almost 3 years you were
almost
here.
2 and a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 and 5 months.
And when did you join Nelson? When did you come to Perth?
2013.
In May.
In May, we had applied the humanitarian visa, but it wasn't possible with people were coming to Australia through the boats. So they sent a message, they say the money is being used to support those who are already here. So for you in South Africa, you keep waiting. It could take around 4 years. Then I say, it's already 2 years and I'm with these kids. It's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Because the kids had started asking me, Dad, did our mom leave us? Did you have any problem with her? I said, no. So now how is she coming to visit and going back? Yes, she's going back to work so that she's preparing a place for us. We're going to go there as well. And finally, we ended up finding this other visa, partner visa. Which was much easier
to get,
but costly.
Very costly.
I can imagine.
Within 6 months, they gave us, and they said, in a letter I had in Pretoria, they said, this is a letter granting you a visa, you can go to Australia, but if we hear any information contrary to what you have said to us, this will be cancelled. Your trip will be cancelled. And I knew the Rwandan government through the embassy in Pretoria have been blocking some refugees from leaving because of hatred, and we are different. They still want to. These people have a hatred that you can never imagine. It's I don't know if it's in the blood or in the DNA or genetic, but they hate refugees from the other tribe so much. Yeah, anyone who's in supporting the government, you are the enemy. If you support him, they can do anything for you. They will love you. and say good things and cover them wherever they are killing people. Say no, people they just died or an accident or someone else did it or things like that, and didn't tell your story. Whatever you have said here is not allowed in Rwanda. Yeah. So I said thank you so much. Anyway, that was Thursday. I take the bus back to Johannesburg to Durban, 6 hours in the night. In the morning, Friday, I had left the kids with a neighbor, and I tell them, guys, Friday now going to school. Please say bye bye to your friends. By Monday, we won't be in Australia, in South Africa. We are going to your mom now. You say, hey? Yeah. They said, no, give us a few days.
Oh, it's sympathy their friend.
When you go to school, some kids are not there that day. Or we're gonna organize a party or something. No.
We have to keep it low
We
key.
need to be very serious and don't tell anyone else except your friends at school.
Because
if any message goes quickly. Now I went to church. That was the Friday. I didn't buy anything. I just buy bags, I think, and I went to organize the house. How I'm gonna hand it over now, the flat, to the owner, making sure everything will be fine. I even went to work, and I tell my boss at the end of the job, thank you so much. We've been together for many years. I'm leaving now. This is my last day. I say, what? Yeah, I'm leaving to Australia.
What was your job?
Security still in a shopping mall that was very close to the house we live in. Because that was the easiest way
To get
and it's the only job that could pay me even better than the accounting job that I was doing before. So I said, let me stay here. It's safer, it's very close to the house. It's okay. And I could do my activism also easily. Because I kept doing human rights activism, especially with regard to Rwandan refugees, all the years. So now we went to church on a Saturday. I informed the announcement, the elder, we are leaving. This is the last Sabbath for us. We're gonna go to Australia now. We're joining Yvette. Visa is out. But I knew in Rwandan government had some students who are also spies who come to that church. So I was scared to go and inform the public in front, and like we normally do when people are departing, and tell them when I'm leaving, because I knew these guys will call the embassy and tell someone is leaving, and then I get blocked at the airport. So I said, I didn't go in front, I just stayed chatting with people in a foyer, and when they finished announcement, I went inside the church, and I went out quickly again. They couldn't see me and they asked me questions. That same day, Saturday night, because I bought the ticket on the Friday, and at 9 o'clock we were at the bus station in Durban, leaving to Joburg.
How did you feel?
2 kids.
In your heart?
No, it wasn't like look, this is a twist of everything we have been going through, fear and what and anxiety. But this was a joy, and we just sit in a bus, smile. I even bought pizzas that kids can never finish.
He bought too many pizzas.
We left them in the bus. We forgot.
They were too excited.
We went to Joburg. I think we needed to do some.
You were with your friend and our friends.
Yeah,
because you had a few hours.
After they said pastor, I think he did something to get the documents you had sent. We need to print them, and we went to this other friend where we were in the morning, so that they can take us to the airport
later.
But I didn't tell them where I'm going. And they said, we're going to the airport. I said, huh? Because I didn't want him to be excited and he started calling friends and whatever. Now, when we're at the airport, I tell him, actually, we're going to Australia. Everything is done. We check in and left. Yeah. And we find ourselves in Australia, this long journey of life. Still ended here. We're not longer going anywhere. The journey was supposed to
We're retiring in Australia.
go back to Rwanda or whatever, but we're not interested. No, thanks. Yeah.
Wow, guys.
Yeah.
That's in a nutshell. Because I forgot to mention a very important bit about my travel document. It was so funny because when I got to Joburg, you know, going through the, you know, when they check your passports and everything, you know, when you check in, they didn't want to take the travel document.
Nobody asked.
It caused a lot of issues that I was actually, my flight was about to leave me. I had to run.
Oh, now
Yes.
when you were coming for the wedding.
No,
Yeah.
when I was coming for the wedding. So they called the guy. So there's always, at the airport, there's always a guy from that country, from Australia. There was a guy from Australia.
Yeah.
They went to call him.
Yeah, to check the
And he
visa.
couldn't understand how
What's
did
happening?
this woman get a visa. So they were not understanding it. But it's in there, and then they are checking,
written.
they are
It's valid, they
checking,
can take
and it's valid, and they're calling other person. They couldn't. I could see that they were confused. That guy was so confused. He could not understand how did this blue travel document get a visa
Go
to
to
Australia.
Go to Australia.
And
because it never happened.
It
Never
never
happened.
happens. And so when I got to Perth, they knew exactly that I was coming.
Because it had caused such a
Yes,
stir.
it had caused such a stir, and they were waiting for me, and I had a guy waiting for me, and they had to check it again before I go
Before you
into
come.
the normal check-in to go out. It had caused a big stir. They could not understand it, and I had to run because you know how Joburg Airport is huge.
Yeah.
So I am on the South African Airways, you know,
And that's
trying to
domestic.
check in,
Yeah.
and you know
You have
the
to go to
number
the
is
international, that side.
that side.
Yeah.
I've never run that fast in my life.
Oh my goodness.
I ran so
The
fast.
devil is a liar.
As soon as I sat on the plane, luckily there was another guy that had issues with his. He was next to me from some European country, and we were going on the same plane.
Oh,
So
okay.
as soon as we got in, I kid you not, that plane was ready to go. It was just waiting for us. We were this close to be left. You know, like they were already calling our names.
Yeah, honestly, sister.
So when I was sitting, that's when I was like, when he took off, that's when I was like, okay, finally,
Now,
I'm
look,
gone.
There have been a lot
I'm
of...
gone.
The hand of God has been into
so
this
bad.
thing so much
Yeah.
that
You guys.
if you don't believe, what else are you going to believe?
But my
It's-
best.
I'm telling you, we're in their lovely home. We're in their lovely home. And can you imagine you guys, you met as refugees. You didn't even know each other in the normal world.
Yes.
You didn't know how you know what your preferences are, how you are when you're in your own house, how you like things, and woo, wow.
God is real, guys. God is real.
What?
Yes.
What a testimony.
God is real.
Thank you so much, guys, for telling your story.
Thank you, Mahadi, for having us.
Yeah, we summarized actually. Otherwise it
Yeah,
would take some days
and
to
it's just
tell
so
all the
many
stories.
ups and downs.
There's a lot of
ups
things
and
there we
downs.
skipped, and just to go to whatever is coming faster
Oh,
to the mind. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. God bless you. You know, may He continue to see you and prosper you. And you know, you guys have seen His hand. May you never forget how amazing He is.
Yeah.
May you never forget where He's taking you from. You know, even though the devil has been tried to kill you all along, even trying to kill you with people's words, people's, cruelty and all sorts, but God always came through, making sure that you are reunited eventually there in South Africa. Through, I don't understand, this woman, she sounded really dodgy, the woman at the border gate, and the men in the taxi, but these people were genuine, God-sent people to make sure your wife gets home, Nelson, no matter what has happened, these painful things, one day we trust we'll all reunite when Christ comes, when all this is gone. Solomon says all else is folly, all this world, it's not our home. We are passing through. And to build our character, God has allowed us to go through some really painful stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really painful stuff. And
Yeah.
really moved by your painful experiences with your family. But, you know, it's another reason to look forward to Jesus coming to end all sin, all sorrow, all pain. And we will be reunited with our loved ones.
Yeah.
And the angels will say, who are these? Who are these? And Jesus will say, these are they who have come out of great tribulations.
I know,
they have washed their blood in the washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. Wow. I'm so inspired and encouraged by your story, the things you guys have gone through, and no one would even know if they didn't know you. You know, Nelson, you're always kind and smiling and laid back, and you know, like you're not someone who's carrying bitterness.
No.
You know,
No need to have that. No.
I mean, honestly, you know, Yvette, you guys are such lovely people that you have to be told to know your story. You're not walking depressed. You know, you guys are living. You are living. You are passing out your joy into the world. You know, I saw your magnet on your fridge saying you're not dressed until you're wearing a smile. You know, and you guys do that so well. You have such amazing children, and it's like a dream or a story that you guys have gone through all this. So well done for standing and supporting each other and bringing up your wonderful family amidst all the tragedies you've been through and all the, honestly, I cannot understand in my human mind how people survive this. And I know a lot of people from your country have gone through a lot. You know, you were telling me earlier about the lady who walked from all those countries. So God bless you for sharing your story. God bless you guys.
I think
Thank you.
For me, I thank God that through, you know, like there's a lot of people that from Rwanda that went through same journey, or not same, but their own journey of this. And a lot of people, you know, have ended up with depression, with anxiety, with so many different things.
There's been a lot of suicide.
There has, you know, and some people, you know, even, you know, they were fine today and then they die the next day because of, they just died because of depression. I don't know, they just died. Their body couldn't take the tension anymore. You know, my uncle, and he was a doctor, and I never understood it because he had been a doctor for many, many years. But he just saw, you know, so many people dead in front of him, and he had a cardiac attack, and that was the end. So there's a lot of people, you know, but we've never had, you know, depression or all these other things that people would have that have gone through such atrocity. So, you know, I always say it's God, you know, it's God. And for anyone that is going to watch Mahadi's video and is going through something, and you know, when we're going through whatever we are going through, it doesn't have to be big as what we've gone through. Anything that you're going through that, you know, has brought darkness in your life is big for you. You know, and you're wondering what is coming after this. Always remember that God is there with you. Do not let go of Him. A lot of us that didn't know about God during this, we became, you know, we kind of became Christians and got to, you know, because that was the only way to survive. And you know, if you don't know God, you know, and you're going through something, maybe this is your moment to really look up for God, because He's the one and only that can carry us through such things, and we can come out of it victorious. You know, it's nothing of our own. It's not because we are any smarter or, you know, any stronger, but we, you know, it's all glory to God, basically.
Nelson, do you have any final words?
Nothing to add, seriously. I have been amazed and really puzzled because all this have happened, and I know so many people who even went through worse scenarios than ours. I also need to encourage them. All this, I salute the courage of refugees who still hang on and never resort to drugs or prostitution or suicide or whatever, because when you have a life that is really having no direction, that is the next thing that happens. Yeah, so the best thing to me, as Yvette has been saying, is to remember that there is a power that we cannot see, and that is the power of God that does things in a very miraculous way. Yeah, whether I've been told never to tell my story, people every time warning me, you'll be killed if you do this, you do this. Don't talk about the Rwandan government, keep your mouth. Even here in Perth, I've been warned by two guys, but I told them, no, there's nothing that is stronger than God. So God who protected me during the genocide in Rwanda, and the killings that were also done in Congo, which eventually will end up being also accepted as genocide soon, because people keep discovering how it was planned and how the government of Rwanda did that. So all of those things, it's God who protected us. So there's no way we can say God doesn't exist or that God has abandoned us. Even for those who died, God knows. He's the one who can. So I cannot have any revengeful feelings or whatever. The only thing in my nature, I hate injustice. And I don't like to solve a problem by causing another problem. If there's injustice, the person who's causing it perhaps stops doing it, that's fine. He doesn't need to be killed, or he doesn't need to be jailed. But if he doesn't stop until I die, I will still speak out. That is how I am. And thank you so much for listening to our long stories, and may God bless you.
Thank you.